Yogalates. Today we just need a block and a ring. We're gonna start at the top of our mat, reaching our arms all the way up. Take your right wrist and pull it over to the left side. Try to look over to the right side. Feel a stretch through your arm, through your side body. Deep breath here. On the exhalation, take that left wrist, pull it over to the right side, deep stretch all the way through the arm into the side body. Breathe into it. Here we're gonna go 2 more each side. Take that right wrist again, pull it over to the left side, deep breath. On the exhalation, other left wrist, pull over to the right side, deep breath. 1 more each side, and then we're gonna take it into a full rotation. Try to stretch all the way through the side body. And when you're ready, the other side, breathe into it. Bring it back to center, interlace your fingers. Keep your feet about hip distance apart. Deep breath in, exhale, or inhale. On the exhalation, slowly dip down all the way to the center and then bring yourself back up through the other side on the inhalation. Now we're just gonna go the other way. Slowly dip it down to the left and inhale, bring it back up to the right. Keep alternating side to side. Inhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. If your breath feels better doing one way than the other way, feel free to just listen to your breath and move through it. You might feel a little tightness somewhere. And try to just stretch, send some breath into it. Good. About 2 more each side. Just at your own pace. Engage through that core as you move. Good, and then make sure you're even on both sides, ending straight up. Take the hands behind your head. Elbows are nice and wide. Lean back into your hands. Stay here, just open up through the chest. Make sure those feet are about hip distance apart, maybe even slightly wider. Keep leaning back into this. Good, 2 more deep breaths. Now stay back here. Take your right hand behind the small of your back. And then press forward. The left hand is gonna reach all the way back behind you. And then over to the right side. Behind you, over to the right. 2 more deep breaths here. On the exhalation, switch sides. Take that left hand behind the small of your back. Reach the right arm all the way back and over to the left. 3 deep breaths through the abdominal muscles, in through the side body. And on the exhalation, stand back up. Take those hands back behind your head. Tuck your chin into your chest. And just let the weight of your arms stretch out through your neck into your back. Let it round. Draw your belly in. You feel the stretch going all the way from the top of the shoulders down into the low back. Keep drawing the belly button in. 2 more deep breaths. On the exhalation, release the hands from your head. Keep looking down and then slowly dip down. Try to touch all the way to the floor. Hug in as tight as you comfortably can. Deep breath while you're in this hold. On the exhalation, tuck the tailbone in. Slowly round up vertebrae by vertebrae. So you come to a nice tall spine. Inhale, reach those arms back behind you. Press your hips and your chest forward. And now we're gonna exhale back down. We're just gonna take a few more of these. Folding down, hugging into the legs, rounding back up. Bring those arms all the way up. Push those hips forward, deep breath. 2 more. And then we'll come all the way down and come into a plank line. Good, just slowly rounding up. And then the last one, I want you to stay into this fold for a few deep breaths, breathing into it. Maybe reset your feet so they're in line with your hips. Just hug and breathe into that back body, into your legs. Just let your head relax. 3 more deep breaths here. Good. On the exhalation, take those hands under your shoulders. Bend your knees and then either step or jump into a plank line. All right, we're going to lift up right leg, lower down, lift up left leg, lower down, walk your hands back into a down dog position. Bend your right knee, then your left knee, and then both knees lower all the way down just before you're about to touch the ground. Round the spine, arc the spine, step back into your plank line. Okay, again, lift up one leg, high as you can go, slowly set it down. Lift up your other leg, nice and high, slowly set it down. Start coming back into that downward facing dog position. Take a deep breath, bend one knee, breathe into it, bend your other knee, breathe into it, bend both knees, try not to touch the ground, round through the spine, arc through the spine. And then come back into your plank line. Bring one leg up, other leg up. Walk your hands back into that downward facing dog position. Breathe here. Bend one knee. Breathe. Bend your other knee. Breathe. Bend both knees just an inch off the ground. Round and arc, moving through that spine, plank line. One leg up, other leg up. Down dog. Deep breath. Bend one leg, shift the hips. Bend that other leg, shift the hips. Take a down dog, deep breath. Bend both knees, just till you're about to touch the ground. Round the spine, arc the spine, plank line. Again, one leg up, set it down, other leg up, set it down, walk it back into that down dog. Walk your dog, a few deep breaths if you want to move it a few times. And then when you're ready, lower into that floating table. Walk it back into your plank line. Keep repeating this. Plank line, one leg up, other leg up. Walk it back into that down dog. Walk your dog. Take a few rounds of walking the dog, just make it feel good for you. Maybe even hold that down dog, pressing back into it. Breathe. When you're ready, lower those knees onto the ground. Round through the spine. Arc through the spine. Plank line. All right, we're gonna go here about 1 more minute, just at your own pace. It's a really nice warm up. Warming up through the whole body, not staying in one position too long, moving through down dog, plank line, floating cat-cow. And just let your movements be nice and slow and deliberate. Try to isolate through the muscles as you go. If you feel like you want to stay in one position a little bit longer, just feel free to do that to listen to your body. Good, just keep breathing about 30 more seconds. And then the next time that you come into your down dog position, just stay there. Take your time getting there. We're gonna be here about 10 deep breaths. If at any time you needed to, you could come into your tabletop position and move through the cat-cow, or you could come just into a child's pose. So whenever you're ready, find that down dog or cat-cow. You can walk your dog, or you can stay and breathe in your down dog, or you could take any variation in between. Sometimes it feels good to walk it for a little bit, and then sometimes it feels good just to press into it. You have about 5 more deep breaths here. Really breathe into this. Good, 1 more deep breath in. And then lower both knees all the way down to the ground. Point your toes so you can relax your feet. Reach your arms all the way up. Deep breath in as you reach your arms back and push your hips forward. Deep breath here, and on your exhalation, bring your right arm down in front of you, sweep it down all the way, try to touch your toe. Bring it up. Go back into that extended arm, pushing your hips forward, and then left arm comes right in front of your shoulder. Sweep it down, see if you can watch your hand as you move, and then reset, press those hips forward. Alternate, right arm, push the hips forward, left arm, push the hips forward. Just keep moving, side to side. Getting nice and open through that chest body, lengthening through the abdominal muscles. Good, 2 more each side. And finishing up, making sure you're even on both sides. Bring those hands back under your shoulders. We're gonna come into that floating tabletop position with your knees hovering off the ground. See if you can lift up your right leg out to the side, set it down, left leg out to the side, set it down, press into your down dog. And then repeat. If floating is too much for you, you could bring your knees all the way down and lift up one leg and the other leg and press into your down dog. Floating the knees is going to be more challenging. So if it's too much for you, modification, go ahead and press your knees all the way to the ground if you don't want to float them. Good. We're going to be here about 30 more seconds, and then we're going to add a little bit more variety to this move. Good, keep breathing, moving through this. About 10 more seconds here. And the next time you come into that tabletop position, go ahead and put your knees all the way to the ground. Try it first with your knees to the ground. Take that right leg out to the side, circle all the way around, take a down dog. Knees back down, left leg out to the side, circle all the way back around, and down dog. Now, if you want to add that challenge, float the knees off the ground, circle, take a down dog in between, either float or table, circle, and back into your down dog. Nice hip rotation, whether you have your knees all the way to the ground or whether you're floating them. Good, about 45 more seconds here. Keep breathing through it. If you do have your knees touching and it's really easy, try the floating the knees. Let's go one more each side. Make sure you're even on both sides. And then meet in that downward facing dog position. Or you can always move it to your cat, cow, or tabletop. Walk your dog. Good, 2 more deep breaths. And then lower the knees all the way back down onto the ground. Relax your feet. Find a ring. If you don't have a ring, you could also use a block or something just about 12 inches wide, 12 to 18 inches wide. Take your prop right out in front of you. Lean all the way back. Bring your arms up. Deep breath in. Exhale, sweep it down to one side. Bring it back up. Press those hips forward. Exhale, sweep it down to your other side. And press back up. Keep alternating. Sweeping down one way. And sweeping down that other way. Good. Squeeze that prop if you can. This is a very good chest opener. You might feel your sternum pop in a good way. All the little bones and muscles that get tightened up, especially if you sit in a chair all day and have to be on a laptop or a computer, which is what I have to do. I think most of us here have to do that. All right, keep going. We have 10 more seconds. Try to get at least one more each way. Good, and 3, 2, you can finish up making sure you're even on both sides. And then when you're ready, we're gonna place that ring back to the side, come back into the center of your mat, tabletop position, float those knees again if you want to for your challenge. Now we're gonna extend right arm out, circle around one way, circle around the other way, press back into a down dog. Breathe into it. And then back into that table, float if you can. Left arm, circle it one way, circle the other way, back into your down dog. We're gonna just keep alternating. One arm, circle one way, circle the other way, back into down dog. If you feel like this is super easy for you, which is actually not that easy for me, I'm dripping sweat, you could try taking your opposite leg to arm out and circling one way and circling the other way. But if you feel like you're losing balance, just focus on the arms, especially if you're floating those knees. So super duper challenging is to extend the opposite leg as you circle your arm with those knees floating off the ground. And then the other modification is to just keep those knees onto the ground instead of floating. Good, 30 more seconds. If you want to, maybe try one of those leg extensions. Good, 10 more seconds here. And try to finish up, making sure you're even on both sides. And then finding that downward facing dog position. Either walk your dog or just breathe into it. Good, 2 more deep breaths. And on your exhalation, lower your knees back down, point your toes, find that ring again. We're back onto our knees. This time, the ring or your prop is behind your back with your palms facing together. And we're gonna lean back just like we were doing before, but instead of our arms being in front or above us, those arms are behind us. Try to keep squeezing your prop. You might not feel like you have hardly any squeeze in your prop, but that's okay. Just whatever little movement you can get in your prop. Leaning back and forward. Nice quad engagement here, good. We're going back into that heart opener. Good, 30 more seconds here. Just take your time, don't worry about how many you're doing. Think about that form, think about squeezing into your prop. Make sure your neck is nice and long. Good, 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take this prop out of the way. We're coming in to that tabletop position again. Float if you can through those knees. This time we're bringing the right knee into the chest and then all the way over to the left side. Right knee in, over to the left, and then down dog. Float, floating table, left knee in, over to the side, and down dog. Now, if you want to make this extra challenging, you can tap your opposite toe to foot, and then take that down dog in your transition. Float, option to tap, good. And down dog. Down dog in that transition. Good, keep breathing and moving. 45 more seconds here. Good, last 30. Good. Nice job, you guys. Just 10 more seconds. And try to be even on both sides for your finishing up. Find that downward facing dog position. Rest in your down dog, breathe into it. Or again, you could always move into table, cat cow, or child's pose. If down dog doesn't feel like a resting pose enough for you. Five more deep breaths. And then we're gonna take some cobra work onto our stomach, stretching out through those abdominals and also strengthening into our arms a little bit. So we're gonna need the block and the ring near us. Okay, one more deep breath here. On the exhalation, lower your knees down. Bring those props near you if you have them. And then we're going to find a plank line for starters. Holding this plank line, feel nice and straight through your spine. Gaze just a little bit forward. Deep breath in. On the exhalation, I want you to slowly bend the elbows, hugging your ribs with your arms until you're all the way down. Point your toes, press into a cobra. Deep breath in. Exhale, lower your head back down. Curl your toes. Bring it into a plank line. Deep breath. Exhale, bend those elbows. Slowly lower down. Point those toes. Inhale, lift it up. You got it. We're going to move through this a few times. Curling toes. Pressing into plank. At least one deep breath in your plank before you transition back down into your cobra. Pointing those toes. Stretching out through the abdominals. Good, we're gonna be here 30 seconds. Don't worry about how many you're doing. Just focus on your form. Make it feel good for you if you wanna stay a little bit longer and breathe into one pose. Feel free to do that. Good, and one more all the way through. And then the next time that you're in your cobra, stay in your cobra and just look side to side, back and forth behind you. If you're feeling anything talking to you, feel free to just stay into it, stretch into it, breathe into it. A few more deep breaths here. Good, and make sure you're even on both sides. Lower all the way down. We're gonna need the block for this next one. Take the block under your right knee. So we're still onto our stomach. And now the ring right out in front of us. So we have the block under our right knee, the ring straight out in front, and we have both legs bent. So the right leg has the block, the ring is just straight in front of you, and then I want you to lift up just that right leg as we pulse the ring down. Get that right leg up nice and high. Keep pressing that ring down. If you didn't have a ring, you could just press your hands down onto the floor beneath you. Good. 10 more seconds, and then we're just gonna hold the right leg up and the ring down in 5, 4, 3, 2, press that ring down, right leg up. See if you can do little pulses with that right leg up. Keep squeezing the ring down. Good. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, just take those props out of the way for right now. We're gonna do a quick stretch before we do our other side. Walk it out in your dog, just press back into your down dog and walk it out. Stretch out all the way into your back. Feel how you can get deeper into your stretches right after you tense it up. Breathe into it. Tuck that chin into your chest. Opening up through the shoulders, straightening your back. Good. If it feels better to come into a cat pose, you could do that also. When I walk my dog, I really like to move my hips side to side to make sure I'm not just getting into my legs, but I'm getting into my back and my hips too. So when you walk your dog, shift those hips around. Good. 3 more deep breaths here. And when you're ready, bring those knees back down onto the ground. We're gonna start from the top in the cobra plank. So let's come into that plank line. Hold your plank for 1 breath at least, deep breath. Exhale, bend the elbows as you lower those ribs down. Point your toes and press into that cobra. Good, deep breath. And then back in. We'll lowering down first and then pressing into your plank line. Make sure you're breathing through all of these movements. Taking your time, trying not to forget to skip the lowering down before you come into your plank line. Try to stretch even your throat when you come into that cobra. Good, 45 more seconds here. Taking your time. Good, about 25 more seconds. I don't know what that noise is, if you guys can hear it. They're still doing a lot of construction around my house. All right, we have 10 more seconds. Let's see if we can go one more time all of the way through. And then the next time that you come into your cobra, stay in this cobra with that option to look behind you one way and the other way. Breathing through it. Good. All right, and then we're just gonna lower back down and do that other side with the block in the ring, and then we'll stretch it out again. So this time the block goes under your left knee or right above your knee, really is where it should be. And then take that ring right out in front of you. Start pressing the ring down and your leg up. Just go ahead and bend both knees. And we're pressing more so in our right leg to lift that left leg up. Good, nice and high, 30 more seconds here. And then we're just gonna stay up with the leg up and the ring down and hold it. Good, keep breathing, 20 more seconds. Good, almost there, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, press that ring down, hold this leg up. You could do little pulses with the leg or just hold 20 seconds. Good, last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And press back into that down dog. Or you could take a child's or a cat pose. Whatever feels the best for you. Breathe, move through it. If you like to walk your dog, this is a really good time to walk the dog, stretching out through the back. Nice long arms, open shoulders. Take about 5 more deep breaths here, just moving through this. Good, and then lower your knees just that inch off the ground if you want to. If you don't want to, you can bring your knees all the way down. Round through the spine, just like you're doing a cat pose. And then try to sway around, moving through the spine. So remember, you can have your knees down or float your knees up off the ground. Keeping that spine nice and rounded. Go about 5 more this way, and then we'll just reverse the direction. And whenever you're ready, reverse the direction of your sways, whether your knees are on the ground or floating. Good, 2 more deep breaths. 2, and then coming back to center, let your knees lower all the way down. Let your knees widen out a little bit wider than your hips, and then just press back into an extended arm child's pose. Breathe through this. And walk it all the way over to one side. Press into the ground. And you have the option to take this hand that's on the inside and stack it on top of the outside hand. 2 more deep breaths, and then we'll move to the other side. And then when you're ready, just move it all the way over to the other side. Pressing those hands into the ground. with the option to stack the inside hand on top of the outside hand. And bring it all the way back to center. Take whatever knee, your right knee that's out to the side, take your left knee and match it up to your right knee. So both knees are over to the right side. And then I just want you to lower your hips down, bring your chest all the way to the ground. And then we're gonna take your left arm out into a T position with the palm facing down. Use your right hand to press into the ground. Look up to the ceiling. Good, nice shoulder stretch here. Good, one more deep breath. On the exhalation, point your head back down to the ground. Lift the chest back up. And then you're just gonna switch your legs over to the other side. Lower the chest back down. This time, right arm out to a T, palm facing down. Use the left hand to press into the ground, stretching out through your shoulder, looking up. Good. 3 more deep breaths here. And on the exhalation, point the nose back down, lift the chest back up. Come back into your tabletop position. Cross your legs behind you. So your legs can come out right out in front of you. We're gonna end with a teaser. Take your ring or some kind of prop. And then start with your feet onto that ring or strap. Finding a nice teaser position. Hold here, squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. See if you can lift up just one arm. You're holding onto your ring or your strap. Breathe. Now see if that, if you have your left arm up, see if you can take your right leg off and hold. Now put your foot back in to the strap or the ring and switch your hands. Other arm comes up, good, hold. And for that added challenge, your opposite foot comes off. Just hold, breathe. 3 more deep breaths. And added bonus challenge, bring that ring or strap right above your head. Hold into that teaser for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good job, you guys.